All right, everybody, let's get started. Quiet, please. We have a whole lot of things to talk about. And they're very exciting things. So the first thing we're going to do is have Mary Ross come up. She's going to give us a board update, and then we're going to get into the board elections. So here you go, Mary.
Hello, everybody. This is the first time I've gotten up here in about 2 or 3 years and not talked about the building, because it just is. It just is. There's nothing else I can say. It just is, and it is wonderful. So instead of that, I just wanted to briefly give you an update on what the board, the KVMR Board of Directors, has been up to. Last year, the spring of 2014, we adopted an update to the station's strategic plan. And there was some input from this group into that. We did surveys of members, listeners, broadcasters. We had a lot of discussions among the board. We had input from staff, and we adopted an update to the station's strategic plan. Not a whole lot happened in terms of focusing on that and implementing it over the last year, because we were kind of busy with what's happened across the street. But in the last few months, there's been a lot of attention paid to that. Julie and the staff have been meeting on the strategic plan. It is on the website if you would like to go look at it. It's under public information, and so I encourage you to do that. And one of the things I wanted to do tonight is just to go through the statement of values. The strategic plan has always had a statement of the station's values, and this is something that I think is useful to talk about every once in a while and just kind of remind ourselves of what the station's values are. And there aren't that many of them, there are 8. KVMR is volunteer-based and listener-supported, encourages free and open communication, promotes positive social values, honors and encourages creativity, fosters an inclusive community, allows expression of views that diverge from the mainstream, strives to respect all individuals and institutions and to act in a way to earn respect, and is committed to transparency and uncompromising integrity in its operations. So those are some pretty cool, lofty goals and values that hopefully everybody who's involved with the station can own and pursue. And I'm going to get a little philosophical here. I have a soapbox, so I'm going to use it. I've been reading this book lately called I Am Malala. It's by the young girl who was shot in the face by the Taliban for getting an education. And in this book, she talks about how the Taliban took over Pakistan and how, people just rolled over and let this terrorist organization take over her precious country and the countryside and all the things that she and her family held dear. And one of the ways that the Taliban spread its message through Pakistan was FM radio. So if you don't think that KVMR is powerful, think about that. I mean, think about a medium that can be so powerful as to spread this message and indoctrinate a country of, I don't know how many people, millions of people. Now, granted, there weren't a lot of other media outlets, and so FM radio was sort of the lifeline that people had to the rest of their country and the world. But I think that as I was reading this, it was just reinforcing for me how profound an opportunity KVMR has to create change in our world. And I just had to share that with you because I just was blown away by it. So take that and use it to promote these values, because If you don't use it to promote these values, somebody else is going to use it to promote other values, and we want to be on the good side. So that's my soapbox. Thank you. And if you're interested in things like working on KVMR strategic plan, or in other ways, overseeing the operations of the station. I have to be careful when I say that because the board's not involved in operations, but it does oversee the station. Being on the board of directors is a really rewarding experience. I'm coming to the end of my 6-year term, so my seat is going to be vacant in the fall. We have 3 vacant volunteer elected seats for which we're going to have elections shortly. If you think that you might be interested in serving on the board, or if you know of people who might be interested, who maybe have heard the great spot that Diane and Tenali did that's been running recently, I encourage you, and I encourage you to encourage your friends to come to a board meeting or to come to one of our committee meetings. And there's a schedule of the committee meetings posted on the bulletin board outside the studios. So if you feel like you're not really ready to take the leap and put your name in the hat for a seat on the board, start coming to our committees. If the work of the committee sounds interesting to you, come by one of our committee meetings, and we welcome members of those committees who are not board members. They're open to the community, and it's a way of just kind of putting your toe in the water and seeing if it might be something of interest to you. So, having said that, I'm going to introduce Sharon Connor, who is, before I do that, we have a new board member here. Sorry, Sharon. The board, there are volunteer elected seats and there are board elected seats, and at our meeting a few months ago, we brought in a new member of the board, David Franco, who's sitting back there. You want to stand up or wave or whatever, David? Yay. David's a certified public accountant, has lived in this area for quite some time, has worked with other nonprofit organizations in the community, and is a great asset to the board. So I wanted to introduce and welcome him. And now I will introduce Sharon Connor, who's our board development chair, who will conduct the election. Thank you.
Thank you, Mary. So Mary alluded to the fact that we have 2 different kinds of seats on the board, those that are elected by the board and those that are elected by the general membership. So tonight we're going to be holding our election for those volunteer elected positions, and there are 3 that are open. They will start October 1st, and I just kind of wanted to do a little explanation of how these seats actually work. So we have the 3 open seats are seat number 2, and our candidate for that position is Richard Dunk, and he will have the option of coming up for re-election next year again and going for a full 3-year term, or making a decision if maybe that's right or not right for him. Our second seat that's open is seat number 5, and that actually has 2 years left on it. And for that seat, we're nominating Tenali Rennick, who is already a member of our board. But he was brought on as a board-elected position, so now we think he's probably more suited to be elected by the membership, since he's a very active volunteer and broadcaster with KVMR. And our third seat is to fill Larry Hilberg's seat. Larry is terming out at the end of this year, and Larry is going to be having a full term, the person who goes in for that position. And for that position, we're electing or hoping to elect Elisa Parker. So I'm going to ask both Tenali and Richard to come up and do a little introduction to themselves. I know you probably all know both of them, but if not, to have them tell you why they think they would like to be on the board, and for Tenali, why he wants to continue to be on the board. And then, unfortunately, Elisa is in Southern California, and I'll be reading her statement of interest. Yeah, question?
So there's 3 openings and we have 3 candidates.
Right.
So we can vote yes?
Correct.
And how many yeses does it take to get
So when you get your ballot, which will be passed out, all three names are on there, you have the option to say yes or no. So people have to have more yeses than nos in terms of your belief that they should be voted onto the board. Other questions? Yes?
Why would you just delete the Parker over the other two? Like that?
I'm sorry, I couldn't quite hear you.
You mentioned Lisa Parker over the other two, and I'm wondering why.
Oh, it's not over the other two. No, not at all.
We were hoping to get Lisa Parker.
I didn't mean it that way, sorry. I'm just reading her statement of interest. I misrepresented that a little bit. No, the way in which, Richard, for example, requested to be put up for the one-year position. Tenali has already served 1 year, so by putting him into the 2-year position, he will then serve 3 years and have another 3-year term that he could move into. And then Elisa, if she is elected, would have the 2 full terms. Does that help clarify things? Okay. Any other questions? So Edie is handing out ballots. I'm going to go ahead and ask Richard to come up and talk a little bit to all of you, and then Tenali, and then I will read you Elisa Parker's statement of interest.
Well, I'm going to talk only a very little bit. As part of the application, we were asked to answer 3 questions. Why are you interested in serving on the KVMR Board of Directors? My number 1 interest is that we need to ensure the continuing and long-term independence, financial viability, and operational stability of KVMR, and the board can do that. Second, why will you make a good board member? I'm open-minded, I have common sense. I have the perspective of someone who lives outside Nevada County, and I have good listening and communication skills. What do you love about KVMR? There's 2 things: what we do on the air and the fact that the listeners get to listen to it. I don't know that you all know me. I've been on the air here since 1993. I served on the program committee a couple of times in the late 90s, and I was previously the president of the board of directors in about 2000. I don't remember exactly when. I'm also interested in seeing the board confirm and promote that strategic plan. Do you have any questions? Tenali? Hey, we have not met. How did you?
Nice to meet you. We're matching. Kind of. Not really.
I picked up my mess.
Yeah. We're not matching. Well, to quote Groucho Marx, I would never want to be part of a club that would have anyone as me as a member. But, all right, dumb joke. But Groucho Marx did say that. So as was stated, I finished off a board 1-year term, and that's phasing out. So I've learned a lot in the last year being on the board, and I hope to continue serving for the next 2 years in a volunteer elected position, help steer the KVMR ship to the positive waters of the future with the new building and so on and so forth. And why will I make a good board member? I think my diverse background in a variety of skills, some of which have required a strong leadership role, from construction work to audio engineering to disaster relief coordinator, producing radio shows or something like so on and so forth. And what do I love about KVMR? Well, first and foremost, I'm 38 years old, and I'm probably the last generation that remembers the world before internet. And so I grew up loving radio. I listened to a public radio station in Milwaukee and a late night DJ who helped guide my imaginative teenage years Ron Kuzner was his name. And he helped spark my love for radio in a 15-year-old mind. And I've loved radio ever since. I started doing radio when I was 15, and I would love to continue being an active board member at KVMR to learn more, bring my skills to the table, and so on and so forth. Blah, blah, blah. Any questions?
I should have asked this of Richard too. What is your perspective on the future of internet streaming versus terrestrial broadcasting?
That is, I could really babble on for that one. What my perspective of what the future holds as far as podcasting or online streaming or the airwaves, the ether, if you will. We're definitely coming at a crossroads. I think most of us would agree here. And there's a great, I think it's the New Yorker put out an article within this last year. I'd highly recommend it. I don't remember the title of it, but it's about podcasting, how podcasting hasn't really exploded, but it's had a slow sort of rise to the forefront. And I do think that is going to be I don't know if it's necessarily going to take over radio, as long as we're still driving cars in this country and people are still driving around. I think there will be a place for radio, but I do feel, and I don't know when that's going to take place, but podcasting will become more the norm, I think. But I do think people are still always going to want the medium where they don't have to watch a screen and be given their imagination. They can listen and let the imagination run from inside them. So there will always be a place for non-visual medium in the art form of storytelling and music and so on and so forth. And it's going to be a tricky road ahead in the next decade or 15 years. I don't know. What do you think? I slightly apologize because I woke up from a nap like a half hour before coming here, so I am a little groggy, but it is a subject that really, really fascinates me, and I read up on it a lot, and it's something I continually doing research on. Because I archive all my radio shows, so it's a strong fascination for me of podcasting, taking your audio on the go, if you will. But anything else? Do you want me to keep rambling on about podcasts? And no.
Richard, would you like to come up and answer that question as well? I think it's only fair. Richard. And maybe we can have a repeat of the question for him.
I don't think we need to repeat the question. I think that people are probably going to continue to listen to internet streaming and continue to listen to podcasts. And I think that internet streaming and podcasts have the capability of becoming noise. One of the things that I think is beautiful about radio is how limited the choices are. And because the choices are limited, you get to choose what the hell you're going to do, like whether or not you're going to listen and what you're going to listen to. And the people doing it have a burden to be interesting. Because if they're not interesting, they're probably going to get yanked, either because they're not making money or they're not fitting in somewhere else. I don't listen to podcasts. I don't listen to streaming. I do listen to the radio. I love KVMR. I like the news on NPR. And live sports, baseball on the radio.
Thank you. All right, the last candidate is Elisa Parker, and as I mentioned, Elisa is not here tonight because she's with her family in Southern California. So I'm going to read to you what Elisa has sent in terms of why she is interested in becoming a member of the board. I have to take my glasses on, put my glasses on here. Unless I have someone hold it at the back of the room, and maybe then I can read it. So KVMR is an integral part of my life, and I have had the pleasure of being part of the KVMR family for over 10 years. My involvement in the station ranges from serving as a volunteer broadcaster since 2004 on a regular weekly program, participating in the program committee for 3 years, and serving as an active member, including organizing events, live broadcasts, co-teaching the new broadcasters class, and membership drives. KVMR is at a pivotal point in the station's growth and development. In addition to expanding both structurally and within our community, it's also imperative that we continue to explore how the station can remain current in an ever-changing digital climate. I am eager to explore and help strategize how we can create a station that reflects the diversity and demands of our listening audience and expand our community engagement. I'm committed to offering my services, talents, and skills on the board to better serve and help direct the future of KVMR. My skill set ranges from organizational leadership and strategic planning, marketing, media and PR, fund development, event planning, connecting community members, project management, human resources, grant management, staff, and team development essentially are the core necessities of an effective board member. In addition, I am familiar with community radio policies and procedures, FCC regulations, and am connected to other influential members and dedicated listeners of our community. I have served on several other local boards, including NCTV, Apple, and KVMR Program Committee. My passion in personal growth and amplifying voices to make social change extends to my work with C. Jane Do, a media company that includes a grant-funded radio program, online magazine, events, and media production at conferences across the country. By serving as a launchpad for C. Jane Do, KVMR has literally changed my life for the better. The station has enabled me to live out some of the greatest hopes and dreams as a broadcaster and media maker. It would be a tremendous honor to serve on the KVMR Board of Directors. I appreciate your consideration and welcome any questions you may have regarding my candidacy. Now, that may be a little difficult tonight. However, I don't know. I know Elisa. I'm sure many of you also do. So probably there are not questions that I could really answer. So I'd like to suggest we go forward with the election. You've been handed out election ballots. If you could take the time to say yes or no for each of the candidates, we will then collect them, and at the end of the meeting, we'll announce the results. Any questions? What? Oh, you don't have a ballot? Oh, all right, well. Anyone else not have a pencil to mark their ballot? Maybe we'll just have to share. Okay. Okay, well, so we'll give you, about 5 minutes or so to mark your ballots? No, longer? No time. We're going to continue with tonight's program.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, Buzz, you're up next.
This is great. Okay, I can just talk while everybody's marking their ballots and nobody's going to hear anything I say and I can get out of here. All right, but I do have one important thing I have to talk about. Is it time for this?
Let's break it up and have a door prize. But I would like to call my lovely assistant, Felton, to the front. Lovely assistant? Kind of. Hurry up. He's sitting in for my regular lovely assistant. Julia. I can't read that.
Well, it's the wrong one.
No, it's not.
Oh. I can't read that.
Can you read that?
Yeah, except it's upside down. 229496. 229496. Oh, come on, you didn't leave already. 229496.
Gone.
Did we do this wrong? 229426.
All right. All right, on to the important stuff here. Congratulations, by the way. Hey, legal IDs, I'm still hearing people mess them up, okay? What is a legal ID? Can we have it? You know, everybody knows this in this room, so how come it is that I keep hearing the wrong ones? I can't tell you how many times I've heard, hey, this is KVMR FM Nevada City, and over in Camino, we're on 88.3 KCPC, okay? It is call letters followed by city of license. You can say anything you want before and after as long as you say KCPC, Camino, KVMR FM, Nevada City. Yeah. You can, because Placerville is after Camino. You can say, over in Placerville, you can hear us on 88.3 KCPC Camino. Sorry, Placerville is not before Camino. It's not the city of license. That's why you'll hear them say KRXQ, Roseville, Sacramento, on the commercial stations, because those stations are actually licensed to Roseville. But you have to say call letters followed by city of license. Shouldn't be that hard, but I can't tell you how many times I've heard people not do it right. And for those of you at 8 o'clock, 1 o'clock, and 4 o'clock that have to do translator IDs, it's the same rule. K286AN, Truckee. K284AG, Woodland. Call letters, city of license. And it's written in the log, okay? If you read the underwriting announcement in the log, you can just go up a little bit and read it straight out of the log. It's always there. Please be careful and do that. There have been stations that have been fined, and the fine appears to be $1,000 for a failed ID. I don't know if we blow 4 stations at once, if that would be a $4,000 fine or what happens, but I have heard it happen. And, you know, we're on the web. If somebody wants to listen to us, that's it. And if your name's on the log, that's your liability. So, you know, it is important, and it's something we should all pay attention to. All right, on to more fun things. Studio B is almost set. I want to thank Dennis Brunnemeyer for his hard work on redoing some of the things. We need a new power supply, and we need to do some switching, and it may be ready, probably will be ready by next week. So that's the scoop with that. I've had a couple of requests for a flashing light when the phone rings. We're looking into trying to do that. It wasn't anything that Axia built. It wasn't anything they built with the phones. And so people have asked that. And the other thing that I got asked about just last week, which I've ordered them, somebody wanted a light for when the microphone is on inside the studio, besides one outside the studio. So we're gonna get that. I'm gonna get the same kind of a light that is outside the studio, and we'll put it over the door inside the studio. So, you know, I would always think people remember when they turn the mic on, but maybe some people aren't. So we're going to put that in there too. We've had a couple of questions about the remote button for the front door. I wired it, fed 28 volts to it like we're supposed to do, and it doesn't buzz. So I need to talk to Eric Rice about that, and maybe we'll try and figure out how that is supposed to work. But they put something in that we're supposed to be able to feed voltage to and have it actuate the door. That doesn't seem to be working. So I'm not sure about that. On to a couple of other fun things. Cynthia, you got a picture. Okay, I'm sure you guys have all heard about this, but the old KZAP in Sacramento has signed on as a low-power FM, and this is a picture of their transmitter. I thought that locating the transmitter on top of the Club Fantasy featuring exotic dancers is kind of an interesting place to put a radio station, but that's what they did. It's a low power FM in Sacramento, and there was big concern about it. And after listening to it for a bit, I think the Eagle has more to worry about than we do. It sounds pretty much like a classic rock station with a wider playlist. But I don't know. Yeah. Yeah, it's in mono and the signal is fairly weak. They're on 93.3, which has the same problem we do with HD radio interference. So it's not a really good signal. But for the people who get it, if they enjoy it, that's there, and it's another choice on the dial. Yeah. Yes, we have. We got a Tascam CD player. It is a single slot loading CD player, just like the Denons. You can't buy a tray anymore. And they advertised that they had a tray, but when we tried to order it, it had been discontinued and replaced with a slot loader. So that's the case with that. It does not do the remote control function like the Denon does. It's only a slot. Well, and it may load better. It may not. Yeah, Dennis. It doesn't match the same contact closures. Does it? Okay, I couldn't. I did something wrong then. Okay. Yeah. They're 93.3 FM. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like I say, it's a low power FM in Sacramento that people were worried about, but I don't really think that it's a big competition to us. Like I say, I heard The Who and David Bowie and nothing that I haven't heard before. So, what's that? The pole the pole was supposed to go inside the building. Okay. They did put an awfully big tower on top of that building, I will say. Okay. Any other questions? On to some more fun stuff I got to show you. We have something that we're trying here. This is a test website, but basically, once we get a few of the things worked out, what you see here is South of the Border, Loafer's Glory, Bayou Country. Those are shows that have aired on KVMR in the past few days. And I think I got to turn the volume up to make this work. That's the end of a show right before Blue Spectrum. And that's dead air going into Connie Capilla. Sorry, Michael.
Delighted to be able to be in here to play them for you. We've got BBC coming up in about 55 seconds. Mr. Gary Wells is in the house, and with Crooked Highway, and
so okay, so it is not without bugs, unfortunately, but it is a start. What we've run into is a problem in the fact that the schedule assumes that every show throughout the week is the same. And it gets us into trouble with things like, for example, Sunday afternoon, where the blues alternates with the reggae show, for example. We cannot change the name of the show as it alternates over the week. And we thought we had a way around it and tried it, and when we did, it erased everything that was archived. So we're still messing with it, but I wanted to give you guys an update. It does seem to function, and if we could all just settle down and do one show a week and all do it the same, it would work perfectly. But obviously that's not going to happen. So we're working on it. Yeah, there's not a lot of fields, and we may wind up doing something like that. I mean, we kind of gave up and just said morning show, and just said that, and music magazine and said that. But there's ways of doing that, and maybe we'll do that in the in the meantime. Yeah, that's what he was saying, is maybe put a slash in it. Yeah. Uh-huh. Say that again? Is there a way for this program to export as an RSS feed, like as a podcast, essentially? No, legally you can't do that. The shows are archived for 2 weeks. The music shows are archived for 2 weeks, and they can play them back live streaming. The talk shows, anything without music in it, does get podcast, and they become downloadable. So, for example, our news and the noon to 2 shows will be downloadable. Anything else? Yeah.
I think it's this season we've done more broadcasting events from everywhere, the fairgrounds and things like that. So the regular programming gets preempted. I'm wondering who makes those decisions, because there's a lot of shifting that goes on with people who get preempted. And I don't know. People say, "Oh wow, they got a lot of clicks when they had cheese string instrument or incident." But what are the parameters for that? We have no input. I don't know if the public does or not. It just seems like, oh, here comes another one. No.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not part of program decisions as such. It's my personal opinion that I think we should have more of that. I think people should get out and decide, okay, I want to do my show live from the Crazy Horse, or I want to do this because I think that's part of getting out into the community. That's just my opinion. I don't know that it makes sense. I do know that it is part of what has defined KVMR, and I hear when I meet people on the street, they talk about how they heard the Bluegrass Festival on the radio or whatever it was, and that seems to be something that totally defines us. So, again, I'm not part of the program committee and all that, but personally, I think it's a good thing. I don't know. Anything else? Yeah. It is written by a gentleman named Otis McClay, and he's part of Pacifica, and it was actually developed for Pacifica, and they're making it available to us as an open source program. No.
Steve Baker is up next with an exciting topic. Correct, Mr. Baker. Are you going to do that first?
Two 229-449. Let's see, do we have, there? Oh, good. Julie, maybe you can explain the one on the right.
Oh, we recently went up to Lassen for the weekend, and that was a sign next to a food market on the side of the road. They had fresh Foundry, yum, and on the other side they had fresh fudge. So I'm not really sure what Foundry is, but I thought it would be appropriate for 7 dirty words.
And do we have, I think we have an audio assist on this one as well, correct?
There are 400,000 words in the English language, and there are 7 of them you can't say on television. What a ratio that is. 399,993 to 7. They must really be bad. They'd have to be outrageous to be separated from a group that large. All of you over here, you 7. Bad words. You know the 7, don't you, that you can't say on television? Shit, piss, fuck, cunt, cocksucker, motherfucker, and tits, huh? Those are the heavy 7. Those are the ones that'll infect your soul, curve your spine, and keep the country from winning the war. Shit, piss, fuck, cunt, cocksucker, motherfucker, and tits. Wow.
He just ran up a pretty big FCC fine, if I recall. I had the pleasure, well, I shouldn't say the pleasure, but when I was at Summerfest in Milwaukee in, I think, 1970, I got to witness George Carlin being arrested for obscenities. The complaint was filed by Green Bay Packers lineman Henry Jordan. I guess the language was a little tough for him. Well, obscenity and profanity have no place on KVMR. There is no safe harbor on KVMR. That is, the FCC has looser rules from 10 p.m. to 6 a.m., but KVMR still does not permit such language at any time. However, we do not go searching for such language, but we do respond to any complaint or acknowledgement of that we receive. Another point to remember is that many times the obscenity isn't in the lyrics, but is in recorded live patter or talk between songs. That's why you need to preview live music albums very closely. The first time it happens, you will receive most likely receive a warning letter unless we feel it was not accidental or it puts the station in some significant jeopardy, and then it could be worse than that. Second time, within a year, you will likely be suspended. So remember, loose lips sink shows. And this rule, by the way, is enforced at all levels. Someone who has had, say, a show for 20 years, someone who might be on the payroll of KVMR, is not immune to a warning letter or suspension. 2 veteran broadcasters have been disciplined in the past month. Why are we being even more mindful about this than ever before about enforcement? Last year, KVMR did not receive our license renewal when we should have. The reason was members of the public had complained to the FCC about language heard on KVMR. One complaint was about a fleeting expletive heard in a late afternoon from the American River Music Festival 2 or 3 years ago. If I recall correctly, it was a solo singer saying how bleeping hot it was. This is called a fleeting expletive, and the FCC has not been clear if this is a serious violation. Until we are told it's not serious, we must treat it as serious since it involves one of those 7 words. Yes? We'll get to that. The other complaint concerned a talk show that someone ran over the noon hour. It contained several F-bombs and other bullshooty language. The host said she or he did not realize that this language was in the talk previously and had not listened to all of it, but some of it prior to its airing. The host received phone calls complaining about the language and did not take it off. The host was suspended almost immediately after the show, and that letter of suspension reflected the times and the words that were used improperly. Our broadcast attorney made a guesstimate at the time that our fine would be in the neighborhood of $12,000 plus attorney's fees. Now, we do not know who filed these complaints. We will never find out, and that's probably the good news. After 6 months, the FCC dropped the complaints for lack of evidence, mainly because I suspect they have so many complaints and they lack the staff to investigate them. However, this has put KVMR on their radar. If someone were to complain about language, the FCC might see that our license was held up for that very reason in the past, even though they took no action. They might see a pattern and pay closer attention. We are currently looking at the purchase of a portable 10-second or 7-second delay that would allow on-site personnel at music festivals and at the station too to dump offending language during live music or talk. One such model would be $3,700, and it might be a good investment. Now, here's what KVMR staff, by the way, has reacted to all of this and is holding and sponsoring an F-bomb free month of July in our offices. Anyone uttering an F-bomb inside the building, well, among staff, is being fined $1. So far, we're at $4,712 and 72 bars of soap. Oh, wait, it was $12 and 1 bar of soap. We invite you to join us in making a KVMR an F-bomb free office this very month. Then it's less likely to get recorded by mistake. And Julie, do you have some cards to show? Look at these cards. They're green, they're orange, they're blue, they're yellow, and they are going to be going away. And how could that be? Those are our public service announcements, our community calendar. As Julie says, it's magic. We're going to be putting in a computer where you'll be able to read these. You'll be able to increase the size of the type so that you can read them. Maybe 20 feet away. I don't know. But anyway, so that's just another step that we're trying out, and hopefully it's going to work out. Well, if you want to have someone pre-record them, you can. Yeah.
When you put them on the computer, will they automatically delete before the date means that they're gone?
Yes, they would, and you will automatically click when you read them, and then that'll put them at the bottom. So, yeah, it's pretty darn fancy.
Thank you, Steve. So now for some more fancy. We have a YouTube channel. So thank you to Carl Gillette, who's over there at the video. So if everybody could go onto YouTube, when you search for KVMR, you're going to get all sorts of weird stuff. But the KVMR YouTube channel is the one that has the logo. You'll see the logo somewhere on the list. And that's the one. And there's a little button up there on the right of the screen that says subscribe. So click on there and subscribe. Right now there are 5 videos on there. Enjoy them. Carl has offered generously to come into the studio and video if you have a guest, a musical performance, and he'll do the editing and put it up there on our channel for us. So let's hear it for Carl. He's asked if you could email him 2 days in advance. That would be great. He does have a life. I don't know why, but so he may not be available. If it gets to be really popular, which I hope it does, then we'll try to find some other volunteers to help him out. So, Carl, do you want to tell him what your email address is?
KARLC37@DSLExtreme.com.
It's just for a KVMR live studio. It could be in the community room. It also could be something if we do something like the Nevada Theater or for KVMR events. And for the general, well, we probably wouldn't put those out for the public, but Carl is going to put them up and he will send out a link that you can click on and watch the general meetings. That'll be a private link as opposed to public. So we're also going to get a page on our website that's videos so that people won't be going to YouTube. We'll be driving them through our website to actually look at the videos. So that will be coming as well. Yeah.
I just said one thing I forgot, and could we have this demonstration come up here, please? We are trying to determine whether this is a $1 fine or not. I don't know if you can. It says Nevada. Nevada Wedding City. Anyway, so what do you think? $1 fine?
I can't say it, so I thought I'd wear it.
All right, so I have the pleasure of a laundry list of unrelated items. So the next one is there were several requests for audio editing training. So Julia Bornakis has offered to do Audacity training. She's going to be sending out an email soon with a date, and we hope to do those on an ongoing basis. So watch for that, all of you that wanted to have some audio editing training. The manual, which manual is that? Oh, please do the manual. Julia's not doing a manual. She's doing up live and in person. Who knows? Oh, sorry, Dennis, yes. And the community room. Yeah. So who knows how you send in a notification when you have a sub on your show? Somebody said Jenny? Okay, tell me. Yeah. Subs, SUBS, at KVMR.org. And the reason we want to do that is we're going more and more digital. We have playlists. We have at the top of our website what's actually on the radio right now. We have schedules available. We've got this archive going. If we don't know that you're having a sub, all that stuff is wrong. So we want it to be right. Right? Right. Okay. So subs, SUBS, at KVMR.org, as soon as you know that you're going to have somebody sub for you. And if they're actually not going to do your show, they're going to do something else. If it's not going to be blues, it's going to be cooking, baking cheesecake, then please put that in the email. That'd be very helpful. I got an email today. There's a gentleman who works for Microsoft. About a year or so ago, he did a Windows app for us. Unfortunately, nobody has a Windows phone, so it was really sweet, but we're not able to use it. But he just emailed me today that hopefully by September 30th, he will have an app for iPhones and for Androids. He's doing these free for us, no charge. John Stabile asked me to remind you that there is no CD ferry, so nobody files your CDs if you don't do it yourself. So please be mindful and put those back on the shelf where you got them, or if they were in the wrong place, put them where they should be. Let's see. In the accounting office, I'm still doing sort of 2 jobs, and I'm just, I think, right on the verge of hiring someone to replace Ron and that part of myself that was the business manager. So we're going to have 2 full-time people for what used to be 2.5 people. But please say your good jujus or whatever you do that this will happen. So I'm running out of steam. And I think that's about it. Any questions about anything? Okay. Yes. Oh, you're welcome. Thank you, Polly.
Man, is this month over yet? I'm ready to drop an F-bomb now. We're getting there. All right, just to give you guys an update of what's been going on in the development world, I'll start with the morbid topic, and then we'll work our way into the positive things that are going on. So I've been working closely with the Fund Development Committee to put together a planned giving program, and this is a program where we're going to be enabling people to donate money to us in their wills. So starting actually probably as soon as next month, we're doing some test marketing with some of our major donors that we've had for a long time, where we're going to be meeting with them and trying to poll them as to what kinds of things they would like to see. And we're going to be sending out a letter eventually we're going to be, it's just a soft marketing program. We're going to be targeting some of our top major donors to send letters out to. Eventually we're going to be probably doing some spots on the radio, and in the fall, slated for probably early to mid-October, we're going to be offering a free seminar with a financial advisor to come in and be able to invite some of our folks to, so that they can do a free workshop on estate planning. So just kind of wanted to give you an update on that. There is some information on our website. We're also going to have links on the website, because we're not financial planners, but we're going to have links on our website to all the correct forms that people would need in order to be able to go into this process if that's something that they're interested in. So eyes open and ears open just for ongoing things that are coming with that. Also, we're looking for a name for this legacy. So if anybody has any creative ideas, please send them our way. Couple exciting things going on around the Nevada City Summer Nights. So we're going to be doing another open house. The last summer night, Nevada City, I always want to call it Hot Summer Nights, but it's not Hot Summer Nights, it's Nevada City Summer Nights. The last Wednesday, which is July 29th, we're going to do another open house where we're going to be giving guided tours again through the building with the docents, and we're going to be doing that from 6:30 to 8:30 that evening. I have a poster going up tomorrow. We'll be doing some spots to kind of advertise that as well, and on social media as well. And then another really exciting thing that's happening with Nevada City Summer Nights, as we've partnered with Miners Foundry to put a stage out front, and we have 5 different acts of music that are going to be playing 2 each night, except for on the 29th we just have 1 band. But starting this Wednesday we have 2 bands, and then same on the 22nd, and then on the 29th we have Sergeant Funky playing. Well, we're going to have music out here, we're going to have signage, and just a way to kind of bring all the folks from that normally just hang out on Broad Street to come over this way for some entertainment. So we have a banner and we have some signage that's going to go out on Broad Street to kind of gear people toward this direction. So again, just to kind of bring that visibility to KVMR, especially on the 29th, I think that'll be a great way to get people over here, and if they're interested in coming in and getting a tour at that time, then they'll be able to do so. So come on Wednesday if you're around, come and check it out. It should be cool. Yeah. It's going to be right in front of Miners Foundry, so right on the corner of Bridge Street and Spring Street, in the parking lot. Yeah. And Melissa's done a fabulous job of going out and getting all the sponsors, so it's actually not costing us anything. We originally went into this with Miners Foundry thinking that we would each make a $300 contribution, and Melissa did such a great job getting all the sponsors that now KVMR doesn't have to pay out anything, so we're really excited about that. Go girl, woo! And then the last thing I want to talk about is in the world of social media, we now have an Instagram page. So Instagram is an app. So if you have a smartphone, go to the App Store, download Instagram. It's another social media site where it's mostly pictures, that you're going to be looking at, images, and you can find us at KVMR_radio. And if anybody needs any help with that or have questions on that, come see me, give me a call, email me, development@kvmr.org. I think that's it. Thank you, everyone. Now I'm going to bring up my rock star underwriter, Melissa, to give you an update on underwriting.
So the last general meeting, I think, was... Oh.
Wait, we have to do a door prize. Yes, door prize. That's Melissa.
Not after tomorrow. Is this my number? 229474. There you go. What did she win? Yay!
This one was too. Sorry.
Okay, as I was saying, the last general meeting I was at, which was the first general meeting I was at, was the first week I started here. And so today marks my quarter-year anniversary. I am so thrilled to be here. I'm having so much fun, especially with Steve. We have a blast. You know, I just wanted to mention, and it kind of goes without saying, that KVMR, everything that the station offers is here because of our members, our listeners, our volunteer broadcasters, you all, and the generous business supporters and underwriters that I get to work with and leverage to bring in to help support our great station. In return, they get all the love of all of us who will then give them our money and attention and care and acknowledgement. So when I hear our volunteer broadcasters going that extra mile, as so many of you do, such as HAP and who else? Jerry Ann, just acknowledging really how crucial it is that we who listen to KVMR and we who love KVMR and the listeners are being educated to thank those who support us, and that being shopping with them, telling them you support them and the station that you get to be a part of, and the station that makes our community and everything we do here and all of our events and our tourism that much more successful and stronger. So I just want to put a plug in. Please keep communicating that to your listeners, that our underwriters, our business supporters are incredibly important. So people realize it's not just advertising. Like, this is 37 years of success because we've been able to pay the bills, because these people have been doing this for us and for you and for the community. And then also just to mention, we are looking at developing a business supporter underwriting page on the website, or a pull down that is all about how to underwrite, how to be a business supporter. Jessica has developed a really wonderful page that actually has the logos of all of our underwriters, and it links to their pages, so they're much more visual on the website, not just their name that you link through. We're trying to give them added value that way. I would like to see that we could have a feature where special events that our underwriters are offering, we can, acknowledge that. We're doing much more with Facebook and social media too. And I'm always open to ideas and suggestions. So many of you have come to me and said, hey, why don't you call so-and-so, check in, I already put a word in. And I've been getting a lot of really easy leads and people who already have it top of mind and are happy to have been thought of and happy to get a call from me. So please keep those coming. I appreciate it. It makes it easy too. It's fun. Thank you. Who's next?
Hey, you guys, you're hanging in there. This is pretty long. I was surprised to learn that you can't say cocksucker on the radio. I wish I would have known that earlier. Whoops. When they said during the staff meeting that there was going to be an F-bomb-free July, I'm sitting there and all the staff is sitting there and they said, it's going to be an F-bomb-free July, and everybody turned and looked at me. It's like, why are you? I've only donated $2 out of the 4,000. So we made it through our first membership drive. Thank you so much to everyone. You guys are awesome. I learned a couple things, and so I'm going to redo the shift captain manual and exciting stuff like that. We're going to have some training, so look for that. Probably start like the end of September, because things are actually super different. That room is really noisy, and there's stuff to do to work that out. So it was awesome, though. We made over $57,000 in 1 week. Woo! Woo! We had just done the NFCB conference, so I was able to talk to some other folks. And a very comparable station over in Mendocino just did a 2-week drive where their goal was $60,000, and they did 54. So, crushed you, take that, KXYZ or whatever. I wanted to just give a little bit of an update about some stuff that we're doing in the membership department, some initiatives. One of the things that's worked really great is Ticket Palooza, and that's because you guys are so awesome. Jerry Ann and Todd have agreed to do it again, and Dennis and Lori have also been part of that. We've only done 2. It's where we kind of do a half-day drive with discount tickets, where we really promote the heck out of local events and live music. So the promoters love it, the listeners love it, and it's over in a flash. It's really a breeze. The next one is going to be August 21st. That's a Friday. We've had really amazing success with the vehicle donation campaign awareness. Okay, like that's when you guys go on the air and read the little PSAs. Tenali helped me put together some new spots this time. So when you hear the drag racing and the Twilight Zone, that's Tenali. Thank you very much. And that particular program, we got over 47 cars in the last fiscal year. 47 cars donated. That's freaking incredible. It's like $20,000 so far because there's been a lot of clunkers. But the first year before we started doing this on the air, we made about $9,000. So that's tremendous, and we still have a couple more months. We're going to do another one of those. If anyone wants to come and do some spots, I would love that. That would be great. The more irritating and obnoxious, the better they work. You don't even have to have good ideas. You just have to have about 15 seconds worth of talking. That's it, 15 seconds. So we're going to do the kind of a similar thing with perennial memberships. When I kind of started in 2012, we had 68 people who were perennials. We now have 373. So that's huge. That's kind of one way to keep, thank you guys. You guys are clapping. You guys are so awesome. Thank you. That's one way to kind of like keep people from falling off of the membership roll, because we have kind of a group of maybe about 10,000 people who come and go, sometimes go for like 5, 6, 10 years at a time, and then they come back. Like they come back and donate money again because they're still listening. So kind of getting them to do a monthly thing is really a great way to keep our membership numbers up. So we're going to kind of do a little bit of a thing where we kind of have spots and just talk about perennial awareness. We're not really going to ask for money. It's like going to be about 3 days this upcoming August. And I wanted to say one other thing about the last drive, and that was that this is just like a little thing when you're thinking about what you want to offer for your shows. We had 35 commercial CDs offered. Of all 35 titles, we sold 42 titles of commercial CDs. This is in a whole week. We sold 42 commercial CDs. The CD that sold the most was Mark Knopfler with 5. So just when you're thinking about putting together your show and what you want to offer, people don't really care very much about commercial CDs. So you want to get in your choice to Sean, but it's not like you need a list of 25 things because they're just not going to buy it. We sold 42 in a week. So that's kind of, Jess. What does well is tickets do really well. The swag has been doing real well, but the thing that does absolutely the best is the stuff that KVMR makes ourselves. The #1 seller last time was the Janessie and Tom Paxton. It was like 35 we sold of just that one thing. And not everybody offered it. There was like 3 shows that kind of pushed on that. And yes, I think we sold 168 sets of things that were offered by broadcasters, like Thomas and West did Cowboys and Indians, and Paul Emery offers his thing, and Johnny, picked out, he did a Roy Orbison thing. So sometimes the stuff that you pick, this is a really dicey subject because there's a lot of weirdness associated with kind of what we're doing, but there is not, as far as I understand, there is not actually an office of enforcement for these record companies and copyright stuff. So I think kind of the deal is I'm going to pretend like I don't know. When they come and slap my hand, we all have to stop. In the meantime, that's really what people want. They want a mixtape from you. They want something they can't get somewhere else. We get a lot of comments like, I listen to KVMR because it's like listening to my friends. I think in a lot of cases it actually is listening to their friends, but it's also like listening to their friends from college. It's like kind of listening to people that are familiar, and so you want that little totem, that thing that you make for them. So that's the thing that does the best. And the tickets are fantastic. Jerry Ann. I like it. I think my son was telling me that he thinks a super PAC is the best dodge for drug dealers. He goes, I don't know why they don't all have their own super PAC. They put out a pamphlet once a year about kitties. They hire themselves. Like, what's the problem? So yeah, if it's for the Koch brothers, why can't it be for us too? Turn it around. Yeah, turn it around, people. Forget the Tea Party. It's KVMR, Super PAC. Any other bright ideas? That was a good one. I want to hear them all. I want to hear the ones that are way more crackerjack than that. And so you can do that by giving me a phone call or sending me an email, or you can just come up and see me sometime, because I'm up there on the 3rd floor like all the freaking time. Just come on by. Yeah, freaking, that's what I said. Fugdy, yum. Sweetheart. Oh yeah, you guys might want to know. We're not doing a summer one because we have rocked it so well and you guys have been so awesome that it just doesn't even make sense. So the next one is October 26th, I think, because that is the day after Hangtown Halloween. So yeah, are you telling me that, Wes? Or are you raising your hand, Wes, to tell me that's the day after Hangtown? Oh. Who's going to throw cash our way? Tell me. Yes. Okay. I mean, this is part of the Emerald Triangle. This is a what is it? It's like a reservation, only it's a judgment-free zone, and it's a lot of free zone. How about that? It's free zone. Dennis, do you have any questions? I'm just pulling your leg because you're the guy with all the questions. Anybody else? No? You guys are awesome. Thank you. Are we going to do, let's do one of this. Who will be the lucky winner? Who? 229446. Come on. 229.
No. Who is that?
Who is it?
Oh, it's Sean.
Sean. Gift certificate to Fit Culture.
Sean.
This is awesome,
It's that-
actually. $60 gift card.
It's Ralph.
It's Ralph's.
Ralph, you're eating what you always wanted.
Ralph gets to go to Fit Culture.
Trade it. You got to do the trade-off really fast.
What am I supposed to
She's going to write health on it in case you don't.
Yeah, there he is. He's back there. All right, you're up.
Okay. Oh, I'm up. Well, this is a pretty good turnout, you guys, for a fifth, oddball added general meeting, so thanks for coming. As usual, there's a lot going on in the volunteer department. But, I was thinking first when Mary was talking in the very beginning about the power of radio, because I remember when I was a brand new broadcaster, and I'd go on and I'd just say dorky things, and then I'd walk down the street, a week later, and people would stop me. They're like, "Oh my God, when you said that," I'm like, "Oh God." and then that happened 2 or 3 times, and I finally was like, "Oh man, the power of radio. I better shut the heck up." So, anyway, the power of radio. Be careful. Loose lips, right, Steve? Sync shows. If you didn't sign in, make sure you sign in so I can give you credit for attending tonight's meeting. I'm definitely going to need help breaking down chairs at the end, so let's just get all that business over with now. Volunteer ops. Can you tell that there's a lot going on these days at KVMR? There's a lot. We're doing a lot of new stuff. And for the second year, Kim Rogers is producing the KVMR birthday party. We're how old are we? 39? 37. And we're going to need some help with that. And that's on July 25th. It's at Pioneer Park. And we need, setup helpers. We need people to man the barbecue. We need bartenders. We need cleanup people, membership table people, etc. So I'll be putting out an email with all the specifics, and I also have a sign-up sheet. So if you're interested in helping out with that event, it's a great, super chill, nice, fun event up in Pioneer Park. I was actually at a memorial at Pioneer Park at that time of day yesterday, and it was lovely. It was a lovely time to be there. So it's in the picnic area, right? Yeah, it's in the shade. It's a good place to be. Tomorrow is our actual birthday, and tomorrow is actually also our fearless leader Julie's actual birthday. Can we give her a big happy birthday? Kind of like that was meant to be, right? Are you 37 tomorrow? Hey, me too. Okay, in addition to the birthday party, you heard us talking about the summer nights. We have an outreach, we're going to have our outreach booth at Summer Nights, and that is thanks to a generous donation from one of our volunteers who paid our fee to let us have an outreach booth there. So thanks to Barbara Tanner for stoking us on that. We get to have people in the outreach booth. I still need one person. I have too many papers. I still need one person for July 29th. So keep that in mind. The county fair is coming right up, and as usual, we will have our outreach booth. We'll have our live broadcast out of the county fair. Steve's already been talking with folks about, the on-air producing side of that. I'm going to need outreach volunteers. So if you want to get out to the fair for a day, let me know. I'll put this in an email as well. Don't worry, you don't have to remember everything. We have added a ton of new outreach events this year, a ton. Melissa has been working it, Cynthia has been working it, and we have been at so many new venues this year. It's unbelievable. And one of the ones that we are going to try to get to is this Food, Blues, and Views out at Sierra Valley Farms. You've probably been hearing the underwriting announcements. That's out in Beckworth. Isn't there a big fire there right now? It's in... Yeah, Sierra Valley, Beckworth. I don't know. I think there's a fire there. But it'll be over by then. So anyway, we hope anyway. Don't worry, it'll be beautiful. We have Annie Sampson and Johnny Vernaza are playing on July 25th. It's at a farm. They do like a whole gourmet food thing and a blues show, and it sounds really lovely. So if you want to go set up an outreach booth for a short shift, it's for a few hours. It's a bit of a drive, but it'd be a fun event. July 25th, August 29th, and actually the September 20th one is filled. That one's a done deal. And you have the option of staying overnight, camping on the farm. So if that's your thing, if you like food, blues, and views, do that. We have been at a lot of Center for the Arts concerts this year, and mostly these things go out to our trained outreach team first. So if you're hearing about some of these for the first time, that's why. I give our trained outreach team, the people who have come to the trainings and put in the time there, they usually get first dibs on these things. And then when there's no takers, not because it's a bad thing, but just because, I put it out to the larger group. But there are lots of Center for the Arts shows. If you know there's a show coming up at the center that you might be interested in working, just drop me a line. I might be able to work it out if I haven't already filled it. So I'll just put that out there to you guys. We do need somebody to work, put up a little outreach table, and this is like a really simple set up a bin kind of thing at the Dust Bowl Revival Show on August 7th at the center. So putting that out there. And booth babysitting. You've heard that one a lot this year, haven't you? It ain't over yet either. California World Fest coming up starting on Thursday. We need one more booth sitter for Sunday night, 6 to 10 p.m. So if anybody wants to step up for that. The special bonus about World Fest is you get a day pass to the festival for doing a booth babysitting shift. And that is not the norm for booth babysitting, but that is just a little special thing that Wes negotiated years ago. And we haven't had to let go of it yet. So one more, if you want to go to World Fest for a day, pick up this shift on Sunday night, and you can get a ticket for any other day you want to go. There's probably more that I'm forgetting, but don't worry, you'll get it in an email. Right? What? Any questions? I don't know. Should we do a door prize? Jenny. What do you mean by presence? Well, have you seen our outreach lately? Because actually it's a bit improved. We have a new upright banner. This is all kind of based on feedback from people at the trainings and over the years. We have a budget this big for outreach, so I'll say that. And we're trying a bunch of new things, but we got this really nice upright banner that's way more visible and colorful. We are toying with, ways to have like a laptop on site where there's rotating pictures and things like that for people to engage with. The problem with that is usually we're at festivals and it's hard to see a laptop screen in the sun, so we're batting around lots of ideas. Yeah. Well, that's all we can get at a center event. If we have, when we're at a festival and we have our booth, we have our full setup, and it's a little bit more robust. And I think it's improved a lot this year, and it'll just keep coming. But I love those ideas. If people want to do cool graphics and make me cool signs and things like that, I would love to put things up like that. But I don't have the graphics skills. It's just a matter of getting somebody who can help out with that kind of thing. So, yeah, keep the ideas coming, because, if you have any specific ideas, I would love to hear them. Door prize. Oh, yeah. Let's do door prize first.
229511. 511. Congratulations. What does she get? It's a pickle. No.
She wins a gift certificate to the Curly Wolf.
Ooh, nice.
Not bad.
What are you doing with the used ones?
I'll take it.
Okay.
So youth initiatives at KVMR. So this has been something that we've been talking about for years, like how to get more youth involved, how to get more youth involved, period. And this year we've taken some pretty good steps towards that. And we have 2 interns currently. I don't know if anybody's met Ron. He's working with the engineering department, and he is a soon-to-be Sierra College student. And he's at KVMR 4 days a week and has been for the last couple of months, and he's awesome. Follows Buzz around, kind of like the Energizer bunny tail or something. I don't know. And we also have Max, who's working in the music department, doing a lot of digital download stuff and stuff that I don't even know. We have another Sierra College student, a continuing ed student, who's going to be starting in the fall, and she's going to be doing more of a sort of behind-the-scenes based internship. She's a business major who really wants to learn about the inner workings of nonprofits. So we're going to try to give her a full taste. What? Maybe not that one, but we'll talk. I don't. Everybody knows that Spinatron is 24/7 now, right? No excuses. You got to do it. We've also been having a series of meetings with Bitney Prep High School, and that's the school where Adriana's kid goes. And anybody else have kids at Bitney? We've had a couple of meetings and brainstormed some ideas, and the ideas have ranged from having student interns from Bitney Prep, all the way to us developing a curriculum and a semester-long class for Bitney students that would culminate in some sort of produced show or something. So there's a number of folks here that are on that committee and working to develop something. So it's pretty exciting, and we met with the principal, or main administrator director the other day, and he was really fired up about it, and I think it's been super cool. Super cool. Kids, yeah. I'm going to be coming to you guys and saying, hey, willing to take a kid under your wing on the air for a little while? Because a lot of the appeal of radio is going on the air. So, if I come to you and ask you to hang with a kid for a little while, if you really don't want to, of course, you don't have to, but I hope you will be open to that. Jerry Ann, all right. Time is they're in school in the morning, they're going to have limited time frame. But anyway, the other thing is I've developed a relationship with NU and their Partnership Academy, which is a sort of an alternative track, a kind of a media-based track through high school, and they've been largely focused on video over the past bunch of years, but they're trying to branch out, and they really are trying to get themselves out into the community more. And they reached out to us, they've reached out to the union and all the other media outlets around the area, and so we're gonna work with them too on developing some sort of program to get kids regularly involved from that program. So there's a lot going on. We hope to see more kids around. Oh, and we had a student do the broadcaster training class, and he did it as his senior project for Bitney Prep. So hopefully he'll be getting certified and doing radio. I don't know. So any questions or ideas? If you have ideas, if you know kids who want to get involved, send them my way. We'll work something out. Am I forgetting anything?
Okay, next up is Sean. Where is Sean hiding? There he is. While Sean is coming up here, I just want to thank all of you who have been so patient and are doing the Spinatron. It's really wonderful information for our listeners. I looked last week, and this is before we started putting all of the playlists in there, and there were 222 visits to the playlist through our website. So that doesn't even count people who are still going directly to Spinatron without going through our website. I did want to mention too, please tell them to go to our website. It's on the homepage. You just click on playlists. That way they're going through our website and not directly to Spinatron. But thank you so much for putting in the effort. I know that Sandy's working on some uploads. He's got an Excel one ready, a text one, and he's working on an iTunes upload. If you do your playlist already in iTunes, you would be able to upload it directly from there. So really appreciate everything you guys are doing.
Hola. So I'm about 30 minutes late, but KVMR FM, Nevada City, KCPC, Camino, Placerville. Yes? All right, cool. No F-bombs. So, like Julie said, Spinatron, I know it feels like a chore. It feels like, getting used to brushing your teeth before you go to bed or stretching before you go out to run. But it's such a great service. A week and a half alone, close to a dozen emails from listeners saying what a great service this is. So they appreciate it, Other things in the music world, we just started doing our Living Blues charts. Steve Cagle in the back, thank you very much, Steve, getting that started as a service for you guys, so you guys know what's new in the blues world and what to play. Max, we mentioned a little bit earlier, Edie did. He's my intern for the summer. Great kid. He's been helping me do the basis of what it takes to get a music department going, from uploading new CDs, uploading old CDs, helping me with selecting stuff as far as online goes. So thanks to Max. Other new things in the music world, we're still trudging through getting digitization. If anyone would like to learn about that process and help it out, please contact Dennis, me, John Adams. We love your help. And does anyone have a favorite record this year? Anyone? Bueller? Anyone? No answers. Buzz, what's your favorite album this year? Too many. Okay, I don't remember hearing that one. Okay, we have Kendrick Lamar. Okay, that's great. Good answer. But if anyone has, Jerry Ann. Okay, see, I felt passion behind that. So if you feel passionate about an album that's come out this year, heck, even 20 years ago, let me know if you would like to start doing music reviews for our music department page. It's a little different than having a blog because it's more music-based versus more related to your show, not talking down the blog post. I think that's a great tool for your blog and for communicating before and after your show, what you're trying to do, what you're trying to communicate with your show. Questions, concerns, let me know. Anything else, Julie?
Literally forgot. We had a cake for tonight, and I pawned off the responsibility of picking it up on somebody else and forgot to remind them, and so our cake is sitting at Flower Garden. It was a birthday cake for KVMR. I'm really sorry. We might be able to freeze it and have it at the party. So anyway, it's a really big cake, so if you want to come over tomorrow and eat cake, is that what we should do? Or should we have one? Okay, tomorrow, come by and eat cake. It's really good. Chocolate mousse, everything. And it's Julie's birthday.
So Kim, you're up. Kim is going to talk to us about the real celebration of the birthday party.
First, though, there's so much exciting stuff going on, and I think you should give our excellent staff a really big hand. So how many were at the birthday party last year? A lot of you. So you remember how fun it was. So those who weren't there, it's really laid back. We try to keep it really simple. We sell some beer and wine and soft drinks and water. We have burgers and hot dogs. We have barbecuers, and so we offer that as long as they hold out. They don't have to buy that. And it's a potluck, so people bring stuff. And it's a jam and sing along. So if you play music, it just broke into a lot of music circles all over it's picnic left and picnic right along the creek. And so, there were circles in different places, and everybody had a really good time. And we're not serving Simtra this year, so you can drive home. Right. So we do have a raffle again. We're having a Tower of Gifts again, but this time we're having second and third prizes. So it's not like the whole big thing went to one person last year. It seemed like we could divide that up a little bit. So if you let people know that there's raffle tickets going to be at World Fest, and they can get them at the station, and then they can buy them at the party. And that's where we raised a lot of money last year to pay for it, and actually came up with some extra money for the station. So we're getting a little late start on that this year, so if you could kind of get the word out and encourage people to buy lots of raffle tickets. And I hope that some of you will sign up to help. It was a lot of fun last year, and I think that's all.
Thanks, Kim. All right. So we're coming into the home stretch here. Sharon is going to give us the election results, and then we'll have a little Q&A. If anybody has questions for anybody about anything, we will do that. Okay, does anybody have a drum?
So I'm sure you think that it was 100% across the board in this election. It was not, but it was overwhelmingly the results to bring all three of the volunteer broadcasters on board and the board of directors. So welcome to all three. Starting October 1, you get to work on the fabulous board of directors of KVMR.
And I just want to, we can't go away without, not that we're going away, we're going to let you ask questions, but I just want to remind you guys how fabulous you all are. Every day I'm impressed by your creativity, your passion, the things that you do. Obviously, I don't have a radio voice, so I'm glad that all of you do, and that you do what you do so fabulously. So we wouldn't be here without you. We're here to support you. It's the only reason we're here. So. All right, questions for the good of the order. Jerry Ann. Here, here. Yep. I was talking to our FCC attorney last week on the phone about F-bombs and things like that. And he said, I just want to let you know that you have the best broadcast engineer in the country working for you. Okay, that was a good question. Anything else? Any others? Oh, you guys are so easy. All right, well, come by tomorrow and get some birthday cake. And welcome to the board for all you new board members. Thanks a lot, you guys. Take your chairs, please.
Look at you.
For the endowment, KVMR, pay it forward. Pay it forward.